Hello and welcome to Rotted Reviews, and it's time to take the last Rotted request of the month, and this time it's coming from Patron Christoffer, who asked me to take a look at the 2006 movie Severance. Christoffer says that he picked this one because good horror comedies are hard to come by. I find this one to be one of the more entertaining ones, even if Danny Dyer can be quite grating as an actor. Well, this was an interesting watch, and I have to say that it's one of those situations where the horror element of it was not too bad, but the comedy, I just wasn't on the same page. Written and directed by Christopher Smith and also written by James Moran, this movie opens up by introducing us to a busload of executives that are going out for an Eastern European retreat. They are all employees of the weapons manufacturer Palisades Defense, and it's going to be a weekend retreat of paintball and trust exercises and all that fun stuff. As they're going up the winding road, they find that the road is blocked by a fallen tree, and there is a detour that's available about a dirt road that may lead back up to the main road. But unfortunately, the bus driver is having none of it. With the language gap in place, he's trying to explain to his passengers that this is a fairly dangerous territory for unknown and unstated reasons. But nevertheless, through that language gap and also middle management hard-headedness, they decide to all exit the bus and hoof it on foot. And turns out the bus driver had a pretty darn good point, because as these people go up that dirt road and they find some refuge for the night, they get a little bit more than they bargained for. So I would say that this movie winds up in a place of just about average for me. There wasn't a whole lot for me to really kind of latch onto. It was mostly just kind of caricature-esque portrayals of corporate culture, including a rebel that doesn't give a fig about his necktie and only wants to get high and have sex, the middle management portion, the suck up to the middle management portion, etc., etc. And I know that Christopher said that Danny Dyer can be a bit annoying in his performances, but I would submit that there were a lot more annoying performances than just his. Tim McInnery as the middle management Richard was just absolutely infuriating in his stubbornness and his inability to ever see the discussion or make any admission along the lines of, I was wrong, maybe we should listen to somebody else. It was a lot like Office Space goes out into the woods to fend for themselves against a group of killers, minus the humor. I'm not saying that this doesn't have humor. I'm just saying that comedy is very, very subjective. What works for one person is no guarantee that it'll work for another. It's a very kind of unique art form, comedy. And for me, personally, it just didn't hit. Like, not at all. Again, the horror aspects of Severance did work. Mostly. Had some decent kills, had some fun little moments, some little, shock and gore kind of things that were happening there. But this was a movie that was pretty much built on two pillars, horror and comedy. There wasn't a lot of depth to the characters, there wasn't a lot of learning opportunities, there wasn't a lot of subtext, there wasn't a lot of introspection. It was pretty much just face value horror and face value comedy. And when one of those pillars didn't work for me at all, both legs pretty much got kicked out from under it in one fell swoop. So I didn't hate this movie, and I dare say I didn't even really dislike it. It just kind of wound up in a place of the end credits rolled, and I thought, well, that sure was a movie, and once I'm done with this review, I'm probably going to forget about it forever. So the question kind of becomes at that point, would I recommend this? And I would have to say softly, yes. Again, there wasn't anything in this that I actively disliked. It's just that the humor didn't work for me. But that's not to say that it wouldn't for you. And if it does, then I think that there might be some decent foundation enough to eke out a decent watch. I wouldn't say that this is going to wind up on anybody's 5-star list, but again, this could work for you. So what I would recommend is, if you're in the mood for something kind of lighthearted, something kind of fun, something with some office humor to it, maybe kick it on. Try it for 5 or 10 minutes. If the humor isn't working for you by then I guarantee it just simply won't from then on out. But maybe it does. Maybe you get some good chuckles out of it, and maybe this is the movie for you. So in that case, it is at least worth the whirl. Nevertheless, Christopher, I do appreciate you bringing this one to my attention. I don't think it would have wound up on my watch list otherwise, and I'm always happy to absorb something new. So again, thank you. And thank you for watching this video. I do hope you enjoyed it. Remember, next time you want to watch a horror movie, first make sure that it's good and rotted.